Hey, what's going on, my fellow Digidorks? It's your good mate Tro here, and today we're going to be looking at an updated Jijimon deck list for BT-12, featuring the biggest, baddest green boy of them all, Quartzmon. So check it out. First up on our deck list, we're running 4 copies of Tanamon. When you play a green tamer, draw 1. Very handy for this deck, got to draw cards as much as possible. And we've got 1 copy of Quartzmon. Great synergy with Jijimon, Tortomon, and Izzy and Mimi as well. Now onto our level 3s. I've decided to run 4 copies of Drakmon from BT-12. By revealing up to 3 tamer cards in your hand, put them at the bottom of your deck and draw 1 for each placed. Really handy if you got too many tamers in hand. I'm going to be running 3 copies of Terriermon. Your turn once per turn. When you're playing a green tamer, gain a memory. Obviously very handy for decks like this. I'm going to be running 2 copies of Terriermon, the Floodgate. Your opponent can't gain memory except for tamer effects. Very handy, especially against this meta with Beelzemon X and stuff. 2 copies of the new promo Pulsemon. Security effect at the end of battle. You can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and add that card to hand. And then 1 copy of Angoramon. Your turn once per turn. When you play a green tamer, draw 1. Very handy. You need some extra draw power in this deck. Alright. Onto our level 4s. Going to be running 4 copies of Tortomon from BT7. So Tortomon has an absolutely busted inheritable. When attacking, you may reveal 1 green Digimon and place it on the top of your deck to have this Digimon get 3000 DP. Fantastic synergy with Mimi and Izzy. Next we got 3 copies of Tyrannomon. On player when digivolving, you can play a tamer up to a cost of 3 or less from your hand without paying the cost. Awesome for this deck. And then 3 copies of Rapidmon. When digivolving, for every tamer you have on board, you get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then up to 3 of them get minus 5000. Fantastic for clearing some of the boards and some of their floodgates on board if they happen to have any. Next up, we're going to be running 3 copies of Metal Tyrannomon. This card, I love this card so much. When digivolving or on play, for each green or black tamer you have on board, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then one of them can't unsuspend during their opponent's unsuspend phase. That perma suspending is really powerful for this deck. 2 copies of the Punyamon. When this Digimon digivolves, you can play a green tamer. Green or black tamer up to a cost of 4 or less. I got 1 copy of Metal Life Kawagamon, just in case you can't find your Jijimons and you have a Quartzmon in hand. You need to digivolve into it. And of course, I've got 1 copy of Mamamon. Now, only keep him at 1 because this is predominantly a green deck, and he does stuff up plays like using Tiger and Hidden Potential Discovered. So onto our Megas. I'm going to be running 4 copies, the boss man himself, Jijimon. So, when digivolving, reveal up to 3 cards of your deck. You may play a tamer from among them, then place them on the top or bottom. And then when attacking, you can reveal cards up to the number of tamers you have in play, and then play up to a cost of 10 Digimon. Up to a cost of 10 amongst them. Really awesome for this deck and for this strategy we're using, because then we've got 2 copies of Quartzmon, of course. Then we go into plays like Quartzmon to perma suspend everything on the board. And after the Jijimon play, you should have heaps of Digimon on board suspended for that power. Alright, onto the tamers. We've got 4 copies of Tiger from BT-11. Your turn, all your Digimon get 1000 DP, that's always handy. And then when one of your green Digimon would digivolve, you can reduce the cost by suspending this Digimon. We got 3 copies of Mimi Tachikawa from BT1. Amazing staple for green players, and very good for getting out Digimon from the raising area for that extra attack if you need. And we've got 3 copies of Izzy and Mimi. Amazing in this deck with Tortomon and Jijimon, and also perma suspending decks. We've got our option cards. So we've got 2 copies of Samadhi Santi. Again, suspending their Digimon, having them not suspend during the unsuspend phase, really powerful, especially with Mimi and Izzy's on board. Only costs 1 to play. We got 2 copies of Green Memory Boost. Very handy for this deck for searching out your stuff and having that extra memory to play with. And then of course we've got 1 copy of Hidden Potential Discovered. Absolutely busted card, must have in any green deck in my opinion. Alright, that's it for the deck list. Now onto the strategy guide. Okay, Digibronies, the strategy to this deck is simple. Like any tamer based deck, you want to start getting your tamers out as soon as possible, so preferably have some tamers in hand, in your starting hand, and a rookie of course, to get things started. So hatch, go into Digimon for 0, and then I'll just play my Mimi memory tamer straight up. Let them do what they need to do on their turn. You want them to bring out Digimon anyway, so you can perma suspend them and get your effects out. So come your turn again, draw again, bring out Digimon, Digivolve for 3, entire Ranamon, letting you put down a tamer, play cost of 3 or less. And again, like I was saying, perma suspending stuff on their board. For every black or green tamer you have on the board, you get to suspend Digimon, and then one of them's perma suspended to the end of the next turn. Actually, sorry, it's just suspended during the next unsuspend phase. So unless they have any unsuspend power, you should be okay. And there's of course stuff like Samadhi Santi to perma suspend their stuff on the board, until you get all the way into Jijimon eventually, letting you reveal 3 and play a tamer. Excellent. And then when you swing in, you can reveal to a number of Digimon cards for every tamer you have, so that's 3, and then play any number up to a play cost of 10. So you can go either way with this. Doesn't really matter, it's just about getting Digimon on board. If I had a tiger in hand, that'd be fantastic. You can play another tiger again, and then go into your Quartzmon, and you're controlling the whole board then from there on in. And that's basically the strategy of the deck. That's all you really need to do. Once Quartzmon on board, there's not much your opponent can do. So thanks heaps for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, or what you guys would do differently. Until next time, have a good one.